I'll call the Oak Park Heights City Council meeting for Tuesday, October 8th to order. First is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the approval of the agenda, and we'll be removing item D under consent agenda. Are there any other changes or additions?
Move approval.
Second?
Motion by Councilmember Doherty, second by Councilmember Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Next are council staff reports. Had quite a few different Zoom meetings, phone calls over the last 2 weeks. Tomorrow I have the Minnesota Mayor's Annual Conference. And next week I have, we have the Toast and Topics. Councilmember Doherty.
Yeah, not much to report. We'll have a Parks and Trails meeting on the 21st of this month.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
On Thursday, I'll be presenting to the Minnesota League of Cities Board on the Improving Service Delivery Policy Committee meetings.
Thank you. Councilmember Runk.
Yesterday, I had a subcommittee meeting for Board of Soil and Water Resources. One thing that came up was the fact that every 10 years, every watershed organization is required to provide a plan. Carly's shaking her head. And I was sitting next to the staff person, and it comes out that all three of the watersheds that are involved in our city are on tap to be doing their plan this year. So it shouldn't have a major effect, but it will probably require some staff time on our part when they go for comments. And I can see Lee over there going, "You familiar with it?" The second item I have is a little note on PFAS. There was a note today in the paper that Hastings has now officially been listed as affected by 3M, and so they'll be eligible for some money from 3M. When the time comes when we have a recording where we are over the limit, the first thing that has to happen is the Pollution Control Agency has to come in and do an official investigation. So even though we have a pretty good idea where the PFAS is coming from in our case, the first thing that would happen is that they would do an investigation. And that's what occurred with Hastings now, and it took about 3 or 4 months, but they are now up and running with their plans as to what they're going to do. And hopefully it'll not come our way, but if it does, that will be the method that they will be using.
Thank you. Administrator Rife.
Mayor, Council, just a quick update here. We have a state grant, as you know, for emerald ash borer tree removal. Was talking with City Arborist Danielson earlier today, planning to hopefully get that started here this fall. The plan is that we'd have 53 trees removed, infected ash trees, and then we'd replant 57. So ideally this fall, but it could linger into early spring. So we'll keep you apprised of the status going forward.
Thank you. Chief Hansen.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Just a quick update for the Embedded Social Worker Program timeline, that is. I've been in touch with the county. We're going to keep the window open a little bit longer for applications to get some more in. Realistically, we're looking at probably January 1, we agreed upon. The attorneys are still in the final hammering out the contract details in it, and that's it.
Thank you. Assistant Administrator Pinsky.
Mayor and Council, 2 items for you this evening. First would be a recycling award winner, the first one for the month of October, Thomas Wen at 5935 Odell Avenue North. The second item is an announcement of the fall yard waste only cleanup day, Saturday, October 19th, and it will be at the Anderson Corporation Southwest parking lot from 8 a.m. until noon. This is an event for our residents to bring yard waste such as grass clippings, brush and sticks, those kinds of things. They will not be taking logs, firewood, sand, or dirt. And they won't be taking any other typical things that a cleanup event would take, like appliances, large items, furniture.
Thank you. Sure.
Jennifer, can you remind everybody when the last day tennis sanitation would be picking up yard waste? Because I know that that's always some confusion with that.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. The last day that tennis sanitation will be taking yard waste from curbside pickup would be the week of November 15th. And that is because there is nowhere for them or any caller to take yard waste. They shut down for the year.
And then do you have the update for the food scraps?
Yes, so Washington County has a new food scrap program that they've opened up in our area. So it is available for Oak Park Heights residents. You would want to go to foodscraps.org to register. It is a program where they provide you bags that you can put your food scraps in, and you set them into your garbage container. And then when your garbage gets brought to the sort facility, there's a really cool machine that goes in and grabs those bags out. So that's a good way to compost your food scraps.
Thank you. Next is visitor comments section. This is the time for anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on any items. Please give your name and address and try to keep the comments to 3 minutes or less.
Good evening, David Bodette, 6400 Lookout Trail. I was a little amused that we are having a yard waste pickup since we didn't get an early indication that this might be possible. I, outside the contract of the city, have a yard waste container that I pay for. So does the 50, 60, 70 residents that have yard waste containers. Are we going to get a little rebate from the city so we don't need to come and bring our yard waste to the city? It seems a bit unfair not to tell us back in January that we might have one of these yard waste only, where we could just save up and bring it to a location.
Thank you.
Seems
Well,
unfair.
I'll have staff look into it. Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else?
Hello,
Evening.
I am Colleen Siegfried, 5416 Stagecoach Trail North. And I just have a sheet here.
Is that the letter that was sent to,
No,
we all got a
this-
copy of the
No,
letter?
this is just mine, and the highlighted part is just
Okay.
exactly what I'm gonna say. So Colleen Siegfried, my husband and I own and are building on the property 5416 Stagecoach Trail North. Stephen Masty, our landscape architect, is here. Most of you know about the property or the property that we purchased from the city. I think most of you were part of that, which it's been ongoing for a year or almost 2. So a little about our company. We've been around. George Siegfried Construction has been around for over 75 years. We're excited to come to Oak Park and have our new building. Hopefully you guys have driven by the site, looked at it, seen the building, seen the landscape. I'm here tonight just to circle back on some open items from when we purchased the land and talked about an item, which was tree replacement. It was briefly brought up at a February city staff meeting. I wasn't there, but another owner and Stephen were there. So what I'm here for is I just want the council with city staff to consider looking at the tree replacement requirement. Our property is unique property for Oak Park Heights. It's not a large commercial or residential property, which those are specific things in your ordinance that you can see that have guidelines for tree replacement. I feel like it doesn't fit into a certain box that's in the ordinance. Currently, the city has applied the 1 to 1.33 tree replacement. Your ordinance is on the bottom. And we would ask that the council consider the modifier. There is number 3 in your ordinance looks at the different tree species, gives percentage replacement versus 1 to 1.33 based on, let's say, the value of a tree. Like oaks are more, their longevity is more versus maybe cottonwoods or aspen or different trees. So we have worked very hard with Stevens city staff to get the landscape to look good, to put as many big, large trees that we can, oaks and nice ones that are going to last. But we just ask that you guys consider looking at the tree replacement ordinance and looking at trees with less value and longevity at a lower replacement percentage, and also the property type. Like I said, I feel like it is unique, and this may be a type of property that will be in the future in your city. So those are just my comments, and I'm glad that you could hear what we wanted to say about it. And if you have questions, you can talk to me, or we have pictures of the site. If anybody, we have this up there, but we have physical pictures too. Any questions? Any thoughts? I know there's not an answer right now. I just want it to be brought out as a discussion.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Continue to work with our staff. Any other comments? Okay, so we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is approve bills and investments, checks 71048 to 71086 for a total of $323,175.93. Approve city council work session notes, September 24th, 2024. Approve city council minutes, September 24th, 2024. Approve grant contract agreement with the State of Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Approve joint powers agreement with Washington County for Code Red notification system. And approve the snow plowing contract with Miller Excavating.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Johnson, second by Councilmember Runk. Jacob?
Councilmember Doherty?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Runk?
Yes.
Mayor McCumber?
Yes. We have a public hearing tonight. It's a public hearing to consider issuance of a license to allow cannabinoid and cannabinoid products and devices at Quick Trip. Jennifer?
Yes, Mayor and Council, Quick Trip, Inc., doing business as Quick Trip, store number 111, located at 12585 58th Street North in Oak Park Heights, has made an application with the city for a cannabinoid license for sales of product and related devices at their store. The background investigation has been complete, and the investigation with the city attorney's office has also been complete. And so we're here this evening after publication of the public hearing and notice sent to other license holders for a public hearing.
Thank you.
Consider approval.
Well, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to address this issue?
I'll move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Ruck, second by Councilmember Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there comments, questions, anything regarding the issuance of the license?
The only question I would have is, when we were discussing the ordinance, what is the determination as to how far away Quick Trip is from the high school? Is the physical, did we decide it's the physical building or the property line?
Yep, Councilmember Runk, we actually just got that map today and looked at it. So it's within 1,000 feet of the high school, the Quick Trip is.
Okay. It's just something when we consider the ordinance, I was curious.
We've had people come and comment about it before, but I'm surprised there isn't any comment tonight. Is there a motion to approve the license?
I would make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Doherty, second by Councilmember Runk. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we'll move on to old business, which is approved resolution accepting the officer of the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority to purchase $1,396,870 in general obligation revenue note, Series 2024, providing for its issuance and authorizing execution of a bond purchase and project loan agreement for the note. Is this you, Jake, or Lee?
Yep, I guess a combination, but I'll take it here, Mayor. This is really just the next step in our well process. The loan through the state, it's a low-interest loan, approximately $1.4 million. As the council is aware, we also have a grant, a federal grant through the Economic Development Administration for up to $1.5 million. So we're in great shape. I've got in front of you here a quick timeline for the next steps for the project. So hopefully we get the PFA loan approved through the state. Once we have that approved, we'll go forward with the EDA to have them, they need to authorize us to proceed here with the council for the bids for the well drilling and also the pump house. So our plan is either in later this month or in November, is that we come forward then with the bids and present those bids that were favorable for the well drilling and the pump house project, have those approved, and then we'd start into the construction phase, which is in spring. Fingers crossed we're able to get in the ground here in the spring, do the well drilling portion, and then we'd have the pump house portion in the fall with a planned completion hopefully in the summer of 26. So just wanted to make sure you had a timeline in front of you, what we're looking at for next steps. A little bit oversimplified because there's a lot of paperwork just with the PFA, the Public Facilities Authority, and then also with the federal grant. But both city engineer man and myself and finance director and the rest of our staff will ensure we stay on top of that paperwork. So happy to answer any questions here about the loan with the state.
Are there any questions for Jacob? Lee, did you want to add anything?
I don't really have anything extra to add unless there are questions for me.
Seems straightforward. Any questions?
I'll move the resolution.
A second.
Motion by Councilmember Rung, second by Councilmember Johnson. Jacob?
Councilmember Doherty?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Runk?
Yes.
Mayor McCumber?
Yes. And then we have no new business tonight. Are there other council items or announcements? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Johnson, second by Councilmember Doherty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At 6:17.